It is incredible to find myself standing here tonight speaking to all of you about a wish I made many years ago that forever changed my life. As you all just saw, it all started on my birthday almost 13 years ago. On July 23rd, 2004, my family and I went to the theater to watch the premiere of Catwoman starring Halle Berry. I was enthralled by the masked feline heroine and spent the next few days dashing about the house, jumping from couch to couch, and thrashing imaginary villains with a belt. The volunteers for Make-A-Wish were scheduled to visit that day. The day the volunteers for Make-A-Wish were scheduled to visit, my mother made tea and tidied the house. Throughout the day, my mother was cheerful, an emotion rare to be expected while living in poverty and raising two children with the same chronic condition. For my younger brother and I, our days are characterized by a health crisis or hospitalization of some sort due to our illness. But our mother was always and remains an indefatigable defender of our health. The volunteers smiled as I told them all about my favorite things. If you could have a wish, any wish, they asked, what would you choose? And in what seemed like a heartbeat, I was dressed in a black and red suit and in my best church shoes, and we were on our way. The airplane to Los Angeles, we were so anxious. There were oxygen masks for my brother and me at our seats because the high altitude is known to cause health complications for people with sickle cell disease. And I didn't need the oxygen. Thankfully, my brother and I didn't, but as it turns out, my mother was so nervous that she used one of the oxygen masks. After a few days into our stay at a hotel near the Santa Monica beach, the day had arrived. Catwoman was walking towards me, and it was magnificent. I was stunned by how beautiful Halle was and the kindness in her spirit. I presented her a bracelet I made at a shop in Santa Monica with her name and cat paws on it. In those moments, meeting Halle, I felt love, peace, and grace to escape the conditions of my health and my life for a few minutes, to live in a moment of wonder, to touch and to hug and to smile at Catwoman, someone who had inspired my childlike imagination and had helped me imagine away moments of pain and illness, of medications and of hospitals. It was like living again. My wish was coming true. When our day together was over, she handed me a card with a string of letters and numbers on it and wrote KIT. Confused, I asked what this was, and she replied, "It's my email address. Please keep in touch." It was 2004, and we had no computer nor cell phone in our home. But to our surprise, when we returned home from this amazing wish, a large box was on our doorstep. I opened it, and inside was a brand new Apple iBook G4 laptop and an Epson printer from Halle Berry. The note inside told me how much my family meant to her and how grateful she was to have met me. The note was signed KIT, keep in touch. I fired up the computer all by myself and sent my first email to Catwoman. And within days, she responded. And over the years, we would continue to chat about all sorts of things. Her contract negotiations for blockbuster movies, her pets, my health. For years, that computer was a benefit multiplier in my life. I'd go on to win a full scholarship to a prestigious private high school and graduate top of my class at a school. At a school composed mainly of students whose parents were doctors and lawyers and congressmen. We couldn't afford internet back then. So my mom would drive me around the neighborhood so that I could find a Wi-Fi spot to do research or submit an assignment. I learned how to code HTML on that computer, build a blog, and code an entire website from the ground up. That computer sparked my interest in science, technology, and mathematics. And after graduating from Columbia University last on a full scholarship. I founded a healthcare technology venture. And we won a venture competition and we had our own office space in Soho. And I led an idea in my head to a team of coders in an office space in Soho, Manhattan. And for a year, I was able to call myself a Manhattan entrepreneur. So, and I'll tell you something. Even today, many of my online passcodes are a permutation of random phrases that begin with HALLE1. The very first password I ever created almost 13 years ago. When I first logged into the iBook, just don't try to hack me, okay? This past decade, whenever I'd find myself in painful crises from my condition, when I would find myself in a hospital corridor learning how to walk again after my disease had incapacitated my legs for weeks, or when I would spend days in hospitals on IV machines and powerful opioids just to alleviate some of the pain in my body, I knew she was out there, a hero who was watching over me and who inspired me to push through every single one of those battles. I don't take life for granted because I don't have to imagine what it's like for a child battling a chronic condition that jeopardizes his or her life. And I'd like to be very clear just how thankful I am to all of you for introducing hope into my life and into the life of my family as I grew up with such a chronic condition. To all the volunteers and staff and amazing donors and everyone from Make-A-Wish, thank you for the years of love and joy you have given me and my family. And to my mother, who fought through red tape at hospitals and doctors and nurses as a nurse herself to get us the medical treatments and care we so desperately needed, and who raised us as a single parent. My mother didn't have much money, nor wealth, nor status, but she gave us an education, she gave us hope. And I love you, Mom. And even today, my wish is as powerful as it was when Catwoman asked me to be her sidekick for that day. Growing up with such a chronic disease, but having the experience of meeting someone famous, of having that person in a way validate you, gives you hope that your tomorrow can be just as bright as their tomorrow. It was a wish so powerful it transformed me into who I am today, changing the way I viewed and battled through my condition, strengthening and inspiring me through pain and poverty, and guiding me along paths of hope to be along with my younger brother, the only two men on both sides of our family to have never been incarcerated. To finish top of my high school class, to become the first in my family to graduate from a four-year university. Or maybe it's just the universe, letting me know that Catwoman is always there for me in the power of a wish. Thank you. All right. So, now's your chance to help make more life-changing wishes like mine come true. Please think about how many more kids like me and my brother and my family and all the wish kids you've seen tonight can be helped by your generosity. And I'm pleased to introduce our auctioneer for this evening, Kate Smith.